Home LA, I go over later in the broadcast how to eliminate dust around the house, and it may involve eliminating congressional leaders from the family. But across the board, there's a lot happening today. Minutes ago, a 3.5 magnitude earthquake hit in California. It was shallow, it was in the center of the California, not in a populated area, less than 3 kilometers below ground level. No reports of damage. Elsewhere, Wall Street is closed, but in after hours trading, Microsoft's up 50 cents to 245. Apple's up 24 cents to 135. Walmart is on a really incredible big run. It's up a dollar in after hours trading, up a dollar to $78. It is up $10 since early January. It's a big run. That run started in November. Take a look at that stock. Meantime, Tesla continues to rebound. I told you it was falling and its resistance level is 800. It fell over about $100 in just a few days, but now it's trading up $4.46 in after hours trading up to 816. In this recording, I'm going to go over what's happening in the Midwest. Big outages, also outages regarding power, big concerns about oil supply for millions of viewers of this channel in the Midwest. And then a major new report out of Political Today talks about the unemployment in the country and the long-term unemployment numbers and whether or not this stimulus package is too slow, too little, too slow to deliver the type of relief that is needed amidst growing long-term unemployment. I'll explain what that is as well. Evan, welcome Tina to the family. Welcome Tina for becoming a Purple Hawk. This is Home L8. From live from Los Angeles, from Wall Street to Main Street, from my home to your home. Thank you for joining me on the midday lighthearted report of Home L8. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We've added a couple more subscribers in the last few hours, so congratulations. Welcome to the family, the most comprehensive business channel there is online, reporting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And there's Laura. Tina to Laura. Welcome Laura to the family. I was just about to say, if you want to become a member, click the member link like Tina, but Laura already did. Welcome Laura to the family. If you joined during this broadcast, I will give you a shout out as well. The link is at the top of the chat, also in the pinned description, and also in the pinned comment. Become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power Calcino VIP. Get access to PDFs that delineate what's in the third stimulus package and more business information before anyone else does. Meantime, if you're watching this broadcast shortly after 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, it's a live show. The way YouTube works is you can jump into a live broadcast and chat if you're a member, but after it's live, you can't chat in the video after it is no longer live. It's called a live chat. But I'm still getting questions about that. 274 people in the room, 120 on like, and we are simulcast on Instagram. So how is everyone? Hope you had a beautiful Valentine's Day. And if you're a congressional leader, watch tuning in. I'm sure your Valentine's Day involved looking in the mirror and telling yourself you're wonderful all weekend long. You're wonderful, and you know it. You deserve some $12 ice cream. Uh, Wall Street is closed. The stock market will not reopen tomorrow, but the stock futures on the S&P 500 are up about zero point 0.5 as of the time of this broadcast. The stocks Euro 600 index is up about 2.5%. The MSCI Asia Pacific index is about zero point 0.6 up, and the MSCI emerging markets up about zero point 0.6. Turning to currencies, the euro is up about zero point 0.1 to $1.22 for my international viewers tuning in around the globe. I know Freddie always tunes in from the Philippines on our afternoon shows. British pound is up zero point 0.4 to $1.34. And we have a lot of viewers always jumping in from over from the Middle East on the Instagram simulcast. And the MSCI emerging markets is up about zero point 0.6 at the moment. The big news in the Midwest today is the weather. The weather. Horrible weather blanketing the Midwest. This is causing power outages for viewers who have been sending me DMs saying, I can't get power to see you. Power outages that is causing increases of fuel consumption and more. First, in the Midwest, one of Texas's biggest wind turbines went down yesterday in the state of Texas because of ice and cold. That's according to the Texas Electric Reliability Council of Texas's grid operator. Meantime, the demand is surging as people are trying to rank up those heaters. The concern is whether or not Texas can rebound with this outage of this massive turbine. There's about 800 daily records of cold temperatures have been set in the last few days across the Gulf of Mexico. Temperatures in Dallas are focused to be 3 degrees, minus 16 Celsius. Yes, that's 3, not 300 or 30, or it's 3. Elsewhere, there's a big problem with oil for viewers this channel now. The largest oil refinery in North America is shutting down because of Arctic conditions. Awful. Motiva Enterprises LLC has halted operations in Port Arthur, Texas, reports a major email from the company obtained by LLA. This is not the only company that's shutting down oil and heating at the moment. South of Houston, Marathon Petroleum has shut down its refinery in regards to the cold air. And then in Texas, the problems continue. I hope you stay warm where you are. If you're tuning in with 400 people in the room, and no one of the viewers, Jean, sent me a DM private message overnight that showed her outage where she is. She's a Calcino VIP and a longtime viewer. If you are a longtime viewer, one of the great news I want to say to you, since it came to mind, is that those who applied for the EIDL grant in 2020 are getting paid. Yes, and I don't mean just people in low-income based communities. I have now had viewers contact me who are not in low income based communities who are getting paid the remainder of $10,000 EIDL grant. How does this happen? One, you can't reach out to SBA. They'll say, I don't know you. I don't know you. Number two, they'll send you an email from sba.gov. Check your spam folders every few days. It's from sba.gov. Number three, they will ask for some documents. So be ready with some documents. They'll ask for some 2019 documents. So get those 2019 documents ready. And number four, this is great news. They're first going to do the February to late June applicants when the grants was around. I can't remember what day in June it went down, but then it reopened in July for about 2 weeks. That was that period that I talked about a lot on this channel, where it went live on a Monday and by Thursday it was gone. Yeah, that group. So you're the next group after this. Meantime, the 2021 applicants under second stimulus, congratulations, that's coming as well. And with that, let me cut over to stimulus checks. First, the second stimulus check, the $600. More viewers are still getting the $600 stimulus check, so that's the good news. Second, if you don't think you're going to get that $600 stimulus check, if you think you're missing one of the $600 stimulus checks, you may have to go to irs.gov. Click in the upper corner where it says economic impact payments and click the instructions on there. It'll explain how to get that missing check if you haven't gotten it for yourself or your child. Also, when we're on the subject of second stimulus, the great news is that I'm able to get you rent not 5 days from now, not 5 months from now, not 5 years from now, right now. This is huge. If you've been with this channel for a few months, you know that in December and November, this channel moved into coverages of rent help, utilities help, food help. Well, the great news is that all these states have been replenished. They've been replenished because the second stimulus package was passed. It was passed in December. That's the Mar-a-Lago stimulus that was passed by the president in Mar-a-Lago. It provides over $300 billion to states for your rent. So if you need help with rent, reach out to your city, county, and state right now. They may be closed today because it's a federal holiday, but their websites are open. Your utilities company are open. You can call them up, ask for rent assistance, utility assistance, whoever you're calling. Don't use words don't use words complex like grant. Don't use the word grant and don't use the word stimulus. And ask them for assistance and they'll be able to help you. Finally, if you can't find that assistance yourself, or if you've had problems finding it, reach out to the volunteers. The volunteers are in the description of this video. Open the description of this video and go to the bottom and it'll say community page, news.la.com/community. Has a series of cats on the top of the picture of the page, and they'll help you get that rent. They're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Turning to the third stimulus check and the third stimulus package, well, if you got 7 kids and they're all under the age of 6, well, two things could be happening for you. One, you could be getting a reality TV star show. And two, you could be getting $35,000 in stimulus checks. Everyone welcome Katrina to the family. How are you, Katrina? Everyone welcome Katrina to this incredible family. I'm so excited for you joining, and she just became a Purple Hawk. Yeah, that father who has 6 kids under the age of 5 or younger could get a $35,000 stimulus check and a reality TV show. I think the check's going to come first. This is how it's going to happen. Each of the kids are going to get $1,400 stimulus checks. Under the third stimulus package, everyone gets a $1,400 stimulus check. You get one, I get one, the person down the street gets one. Everyone gets $1,400. Single individuals, married couples, well, they get two. Obviously, because there's 2 people, unless you're married to yourself. Unless you're a member of Congress looking in the mirror and says, you're wonderful. No, you're wonderful. No, you're wonderful. Then maybe that's 2 people there. But everyone else, it's one person. One person for the child, one person for the adult dependent. But what's going on? Well, for children 5 years to newborn, will get a $3,600 stimulus check on top of that. It's $300 a month starting in the month of July of this year for 12 months per child. That's $5,000 per child. And if you got 7 of them, congratulations, you get $35,000. If you got 5 kids that are all teenagers, well, God bless. You're gonna have to patrol that front door every Friday night at 5 o'clock. and to patrol that front door at 5 o'clock every Friday, you're gonna need a stimulus check. You need a couple of them. So you could get 5 times $3,000, because it's $3,000 for 17-year-olds to 6-year-olds. There you go. Next, if you're a college student. If you're a college student, you're going to get $1,700 plus $1,400. The college students will reportedly get a $1,700 college financial aid grant, but we've not yet seen it, plus $1,400. So, use the money respectfully. Don't go spending it on tennis shoes. Well, at least not 2 pairs of tennis shoes. Meantime, unemployment. A new report out of Politico today talks about the Biden administration and basically mirrors what this channel has been reporting to you this morning and yesterday. What was I reporting to you this morning and yesterday? My concern about one number, and that number is unemployment. I've told you that the amount of stimulus you need, how many stimulus checks you need, how many stimulus packages you need, fourth stimulus package is dependent upon unemployment, among other reasons. But if unemployment is no bueno, then you need those stimulus packages. Well, unemployment's not good. Unemployment is currently at nearly 800,000 people. And guess what? The reoccurring unemployment people that's new unemployment claims, 800,000 new unemployment claims per week. The amount of reoccurring people on unemployment, meaning people who have been unemployed are still unemployed, is 21 million. The percentage of that is long-term unemployment, and this is the number you got to look at, 40%. The number of long-term unemployed people who have been unemployed more than 6 months is 40%. This is a bad number because in the Great Recession, it was 46%. So what does Politico say? It says 2 in 5 people who are unemployed in America are now long-term unemployed. That's more than 4 million people. There you go. So of the 21 million people who are unemployed, 4 million of them are long-term unemployed. And that number grew last month. That's roughly 1 in 20 people who are working a year now have been shut out of the labor market. The U.S. economy gained 49,000 jobs in January, but it only gained 6,000 of them in the private sector. So the new report suggests from Politico that Joe Biden's, quoting Politico, Joe Biden's goal of turning around the economy quickly may be jeopardized by this unemployment number. In essence, the president thought that unemployment was going to turn around midway through this year, but it's not only not turning around, but may actually be getting worse. Janet Yellen, his Treasury Secretary, said that reemployment of people won't happen next year. That's one thing. But the fear among many policy members is that the swelling ranks of the long-term unemployment will have trouble finding jobs even after the vaccine is distributed because they spend so much time out of work. Contribute to a prolonged period of heightened joblessness will jeopardize Joe Biden's process of turning around the economy. Translation: vaccination means vaccinations will have nothing to do with the equation. Basically, if people are unemployed for too long, they may not get back to work for a very long time. Robert Rosner, a senior U.S. economist at Morgan Stanley, says it's a cautious signal. We're left with a very large pool of long-term unemployed workers. It's something that could mean persistently higher rates of unemployment and persistent need for support for things like unemployment benefits. And this is only the beginning, says the Political report. So what's the impact of long-term benefits? Well, there's a lot of impacts on long-term benefits. One, the stimulus package should not have an expiration date on it. It currently has an expiration date on it. Why? It currently says expiration of August for Fpuc. Why? Doesn't make sense. Because all these reports say that this long-term unemployment is not going away. Now understand, if you're not unemployed, you don't need Fpuc. It's a simple concept. Hey, you're not unemployed, you don't need Fpuc, you don't need UI, you don't need PUA. But if you're long-term unemployed and this is January, let's add 6 more months on it. 12 months unemployed. That means you need more stimulus than just Fpuc. One study by Princeton University after the Great Recession found that only 11% of workers who were long-term unemployed in a given month during the Great Recession got full-time unemployment a year later. Wow. That report basically is saying that last time we got hit by this economy and people suffered long-term unemployment, that they did not get a job within a full-time job until at least a year later. That's not a good number. You think about the problem about getting long-term unemployment person into a job. This is very hard to do. If you think about homeless person into a job, it's like, forget it. You've gone from this to a highly difficult thing to do this. It's almost impossible. So what are we talking about? It's sort of what Marco Rubio spoke about this weekend when he was talking about the $35,000 stimulus check. He said it was so simple to solve long-term poverty by giving people checks, then when we just give them checks. How could I translate his message? His message may be, you can't just give people checks to get them out of poverty because they're going to go right back into poverty because they don't have a job. They need to have jobs. And this is where the Biden administration may have missed the boat. Here's the problem. In summer of 2020, I had viewers of this channel who were facing problems, and Nancy Pelosi was holding out for Fpuc at $600 a week. She said to Steve Mnuchin, I don't want to do $400 a week. I'm going to hold out. Viewers said, you can't hold out for me. I need that money right now. She held out at $600 a week. She held out. And so viewers suffered problems financially because a deal was not hatched. When the deal was hatched, in December of 2020, the deal was not robust enough to turn around the financial troubles that viewers suffered by no deal being hatched from July to December. It's that lack of understanding economically that has been really the big issue at hand. Let me recap it again. It's one thing to give people financial assistance under a stimulus package when a problem is starting to percolate. But when you give the financial assistance 6 months later in December when they needed it in June or July, you got to go bigger or bolder because they've already pulled from their savings, they've already had problems with their cars, and then at that point the issue is the stimulus enough? Now in January, we're back with a similar problem. The similar problem as we're sitting here is I'm getting comments from viewers saying, I need that $1,400 stimulus check right now, LLA. I need that $1,400 go right now. I'm a view. Let me address the seniors, SSI and SSDI, Social Security and Rental Benefits. It's not so much the $200 on top of your benefits. You just need more money. You just need more money. You don't care what it's called. If you got an additional $2,000 stimulus check right now, that would change your situation. On a daily basis, I ask viewers, what if you got $2,000 plus $1,400 stimulus check? Would that make a big difference? Viewers say it makes a big difference. The reason that Congress is not getting it right is that the stimulus needs to be bigger the later it goes on. The longer this drags on, the more money needs to be paid. And what they're doing is the longer it drags on, the smaller the money is getting paid. That's not going to work. And ultimately, it's going to hurt the U.S. economy. Let me say it again. If you deal with a problem financially with giving the money at the time in which it's needed, then you're solving it then. But if you wait more weeks and then you give less, you're going to drag this out longer because people are going to draw from them savings. They're going to have problems with their car. They're going to have problems with their rent. Jerome Powell talks about rent and your benefits on a regular basis. Bill Spriggs, chief economist at the AFL-CIO, says this is mostly about low-income people, and a large share of them, and therefore a large share of the unemployed risk of losing their apartment or their home. I don't know if I agree with him. I think it expands. I think long-term unemployment is striking people that are in the middle class as well. The growing problem runs counter to the idea that the U.S. economy and labor market will be able to bounce back quickly pre-pandemic levels, says Politico. And some recent economic forecasts reflect this. The nonpartisan CBO projected this week that unemployment will remain above pre-pandemic levels through the end of the decade. I did not see that report. I'm doing this as a cold read. So that's the first time I'm reading that sentence. The CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, is saying we're going to stay above pre-pandemic unemployment numbers for over a decade. This is specifically what Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, doesn't want. She has a quote from last week. She says, I want unemployment back to the levels it was pre-pandemic next year. Well, CBO saying, no, you're not going to be able to reach that. This is why the issue's at hand. Another extension of unemployment benefits supporters say would have the double-barrel benefit of giving jobless Americans money for rent and bills while keeping them attached to the labor market, since the program requires workers to continue looking for a job. Here's a quote from Catherine Abraham, served as member of the White House Council of Economic Advisors in the Obama administration. You don't want people going bankrupt and later having to dig out of that. That's just going to be bad for them. It's going to be bad for the economy too. Well, newsflash, it's already happened. It's already happened to the viewers of this channel. The idea is to give people a foothold to build back on. What is the takeaway of all this? The takeaway is that you need big stimulus. You need big stimulus. And that nothing from this channel should dissuade you. Rather, all of it should encourage you to be on social media and push for these elected officials to go bigger and bolder. Call up their offices, go bigger and bolder. Because a $1,400 stimulus check, see you later, and I'll be back with you in August or September or October of 2021. Again, is perpetuating the problem. Fpuc, $400 a week. It should be $600 a week, and it should not expire in August, because I'm seeing problems on the horizon when we approach August. You should be on social media and pushing for bigger stimulus. You've done it before. The party in control, the Democrats, are in the House, Senate, and the White House. They have nothing that's blocking them from doing bigger and bolder stimulus. All the excuses of 2020 are gone. All the excuses of why not this stimulus are gone. It's no longer Nancy versus Steve. It's no longer Nancy versus Donald. Now it's the question of when and where. Now understand, $15 minimum wage is one thing, but $15 minimum wage is not stimulus relief. It can be done separately. The stimulus relief needs to be done now. and with 1,000 people in the room and 400 likes. Let me give you the big update where we are at the 25-minute mark. Your third stimulus package has a $1,400 stimulus check. It was supposed to have $2,000 plus $1,400. It has a $1,400 adult dependence check. Their check was supposed to be $3,200 plus $2,000. It has FPUC at $400 a week from March to August. It was supposed to be $600 a week from last year to the end to September. But the push is underway by political leaders, no less than 3 Democrats, who have now stepped up in the Senate saying, you know what, when this bill arrives, get ready when this bill arrives on February 22nd, because we're saying no. We're saying no because it's too small or too irrelevant. Ron Wyden say, I'm not voting for this because the FPUC is wrong. It shouldn't be expiring. It should be tied to economic factors like these. If the economy is not back to normal in August, why do I have to be called back into town to do a new bill? There should just be an automatic rider in the bill. A rider is like an option, like a trigger, like an automatic trigger a clause. It should automatically just kick in. In August, the economy is no good. You automatically extend FPUC. And guess what? I think that if the economy is no good, they should automatically send out another stimulus check. This is what Joe Biden said during his transition tapers. He said, I'll do a stimulus package as often as needed, and I want to do it in a simple way that we don't have to keep on coming back, that we can just slide it in there. Now, let me add this. This is the first time you're going to hear this on this channel. This is the first time you hear that. People always say, why are you making these things so simple? Why are you doing these things so obvious? Why can't they figure this out? I don't know. People accuse politicians of deliberately doing things. But here's another factor you can consider as well. You see how much difficult the Democrats are having with the reconciliation process, with the tow truck and the tow hitch. You're seeing how hard it is. It's not a quick process. It's not 3 days. If it's so difficult, you would want to have automatic provisions in there to automatically send out another stimulus check in 4 months from now if the economy's unemployment number is above 500,000. You would just want to automatically set it up because you don't have to deal with the Republicans. Just do an automatic bill that triggers something else so you don't have to deal with the Republicans. You should have an automatic provision to send out another stimulus check, an automatic provision to extend FPUC, an automatic provision to do another round of hazard pay, another round of PPP after this round. You should do another round of rent. If this program has, let's say, $500 billion of rent, then there should be another round of rent. Because guess what? If there's unemployment, you need more rent. How many rent programs has this country done since the pandemic started? The first one, the second one, the third one. Well, guess what? We shouldn't have to wait for another one. There should be an automatic rider to do another rent program. 1,000 likes, absolutely. Get those likes up. 1,100 people in the room. This is a video that should be 2,000 people in the room and 1,000 likes. Because this is the message that Congress should get. That you should take this video and share it on Facebook. Share this video on Facebook. Tell people this is where you need to be watching. This is where you need to be listening. This is not me just reading oil and gas news, which I could have stopped after 2 minutes. This is me telling you where bills should be going. And ultimately, you and I have done this before. We have gotten bills going in a different direction than where they started. You shouldn't have to do these bills every 4 months. This pandemic is not going to be good in a few weeks from now. And when this is not good in a few weeks from now, we shouldn't have to come back every few weeks. It should be automatic. It should be automatic. Now, this is different than reoccurring or every month. Let me explain this. Some viewers say something like a stimulus check every month. That's different than saying a stimulus check now and a stimulus check in a few weeks from now if the situation's again there. The second one is so obvious and so easy to do. We're doing a stimulus package now because unemployment's not good and because there's poverty and there's homelessness. Okay, if those things are still there let's see, this is February. If those things are still there in April 30th, do it automatically again. Why should we have to go through all this? It's very simple. It's very simple. I don't understand why no one would see something like this. And here's a political report, and I'm only reading part of the political report. It's 4 pages long. It's basically saying that the economy's really not in a good situation, and that this where it's heading is going from bad to worse. It's basically saying January's bad. If February starts to turn bad, it could continue to be bad. The only thing that we may signal that it's turning around differently is a reopening of restaurants in some states may create more jobs. But there you are. At the 30-minute mark, let me give you some home suggestions. Um, Dusting, a little dusty, a little dusty. And I'm not referring to congressman. A little dusty. People always wonder what is the best way to keep an environment clean. Now, you may use a vacuum, but certain crevices really need a duster. There are certain products on the market. I'm not endorsing a particular product or saying that this is an advertisement for a product. But here, what I'm showing you is something you can get on Walmart for a pack of four for $10, $20, very cheap, and they last forever. They're not perishable. They come with a stick, a straw. I don't have it here on set. And what you can do is you can ensure that dust around some of your appliances are clear. For you, sometimes a vacuum, even a hand vacuum, is too difficult. It may be too overwhelming. And dust is important to use when fixing anything that is electronic. And I got to tell you, you can use this in ways no one thinks about. For example, just as someone that's in the screen says I use this all the time, I just thought this is good for men with their razors. I have an electric razor. You can use this to get the dust between the crevices of the bristles. You can use this to get the dust between underneath the tray of the toaster oven if you can't get to it with your hands and you don't want to pick up the whole toaster oven. There's a lot of ways you can get to things very quickly and safely. It is perfectly good for almost all surfaces. It's great for your keyboards. It's great for your cell phone. And if you have lights, turn them off, of course, first, that you want to get dust around the lights or lamps and you don't want to reach into them, it is helpful for that as well. Um, the calamity that dust does to appliances is very real. I am certainly a testament to things that have gone bad that I have to replace parts because of dust. And trust me, it is cheaper to buy this than to replace the part. And so ultimately, while home LA is often about beauty and decor and making things nice, simple things like dust management is very important. So always keep an extra set around the house. You can get them on Walmart, you can get them on Target or Amazon. They're wonderful. They come in a 10 pack. Keep them somewhere safe for yourself. And and if a house member shows up at your door, just hold on and say, I'm dusting. What are you here for? So there we are at the 33-minute mark of 1,100 people in the room. I'm dust free, and you are too now. 600 likes. Let's get those likes up and dust off those keyboards and get those likes up. How are you, and how's everything going? The big news as you start the afternoon is that the Midwest is really being blanketed badly with ice and cold. In Texas, Electric Reliability Council reports its largest grid operator shut down on Sunday. In the Southwest, Motiva Enterprises is reporting that it's shutting down its refinery for oil in Port Arthur, Texas. Then Marathon Petroleum shut down its refinery near Galveston Bay. Millions are losing power in Texas, people being paralyzed because of oil, electricity, wind farms, and also electric outages in the Midwest and Southeast. So please stay calm and stay focused. I know some of the viewers have suffered this, so please certainly stay with it. Wall Street's closed. It will reopen tomorrow. But in over after hours trading, everything is up slightly, nothing substantially, with the exception of Walmart, which is up another dollar to 78 in after hours trading. It's up almost $10 since early January. What a run it's been. And Tesla's changing course now at $4 after really falling badly over recent days. But the report out of Politico midday today suggests that long-term unemployment, which refers to people 6 months or more unemployed, may not be addressed appropriately under the stimulus package. because long-term unemployment is only 6% away from the worst number ever recorded in U.S. history, the Great Recession. The question is whether the Biden administration is going to be under pressure and whether you're going to create that pressure when the bill lands in the Senate. Because the bill is not particularly big enough. It's not particularly big enough. Go on social media, call your elected officials, call your senators, call your House representatives, then contact the senators at issue that want to go bigger and bolder. Say you support them. Because ultimately, someone needs to fight for more stimulus, and that fight will happen in the Senate. It doesn't mean they're not going to pass the bill. It means they will push it to get it higher. 600 likes and 1,100 people in the room. Thank you for joining me on Home LA8. It's a great afternoon. I'll next see you on Afternoons LA at 3:30. That's the tape show. Please don't miss it. Some of you have been missing it because of alerts on this channel. Just mark your calendar and watch that watch. It's 3:30 Pacific Standard Time, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, or 5:30 in the Midwest. That's Afternoons LA8, followed with Third Stimulus 15 minutes later, and What the Chuck. 3 shows starting at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay LA for more.